Good afternoon and welcome back to Back Garden Bushcraft. So today we're going to have a look at a couple of tinders that you can use to start the fire, and we're looking at char material. So we have two options today that we're going to be looking at. One is charred punk wood, which is a rotten wood, really dry, really spongy, really soft, and the other is char cloth. And both of these are made by burning them in the absence of very reduced amounts of oxygen, so that they char down. It's like making charcoal. So to do that, we have a tin and a lid. The lid needs to fit quite firmly onto the tin, and in the top of the lid you can see I've punched a small hole. That's just enough to let the hot gases out, which allows them to burn off. So what we're going to do is to pack these with the material. So the first one, nice and easy, we have the punk wood. So all I've got to do is to place that in the tin, and you can get a couple of pieces in there, push them in fairly tight, fill most of the gaps, and then we'll just put the lid on. Next one, char cloth. You need to use a 100% cotton material. Old t-shirts, old tea towels. You can use jeans, but a lot of the modern jeans have got lycra in them to make them stretch fit. The lycra doesn't help, it melts and doesn't get a nice even burn. Again, with the t-shirts, try to avoid the bits with the real plasticky printed materials. So what I'm going to do is just to cut this into small pieces. You can do this either with a knife or scissors. Really narrow strips. And obviously, if you're going to do this at home, make sure you're checking with your parents first to make sure that it is okay for you to use the material that you've chosen. Don't want you burning your mum's best tea towels or your best t-shirts. This is old material that has gone past any reasonable use. And I'm just going to remove the label from this as well, purely because that won't burn. So all we're going to do now, we've got a nice strip of material. You can either cut it into squares, or what I'm going to do is just to roll it up and try to flatten it out to sort of even thickness. And off to my left, I already have the fire lit and burning away. That's one piece, and I think we can get both of these pieces into the one tin. And this will make quite a large amount of char cloth, which we'll keep then and be able to use in the future. So actually now I put that in there, I think one piece is going to be absolutely plenty. Again, put the lid on. I'm just going to put my knife safely away. And now this is happily burning. What I'm going to do, just for safety, with a thick glove, is to place these into the fire. And these will just now slowly heat up. It will take a little bit of time, and what we'll see in a short while is a plume of hot gas coming out of the hole in the top, and we'll come back to have a look at that in a minute. Okay, so now this has been on here for a few minutes, and if we look down at the tins, we can see the plume of hot gases coming out of the top. Sometimes that will catch light, and what we're waiting for now is that to gradually burn away until it stops smoking. So while it's doing that, we need to be ready to plug the top of the tins to exclude the oxygen, because if you let the oxygen in, the whole contents will catch light. Now, this will take a little while for these to work through because they're quite well packed, but what we're going to do is just take a small stick, and all we'll do is we're just going to just sharpen it slightly so this will push into the hole. I just take my knife and just going to put a small point on that one, and as we've got two tins, and then that just gives us two little pointy sticks, so we can just plug the holes when we're ready. So you see this is still smoking away quite nicely now, so we just have to leave this for a little bit longer until it finishes burning. See the two tins down here. One of them, this one is still showing smoke coming out the top. The other one there stopped smoking, so that one I'm going to say has just about finished cooking. So what we do next is we plug the top, and I'm just going to take that out and place it down there to cool, because that's going to be very, very hot. And we just leave that now to cool until it's safe to remove. The second tin we're going to need to leave a little bit longer because that's still smoking. And I think that's probably the one with the punk wood in it, because it's a chunkier piece of material to burn through. So we're just going to leave that a little bit longer, and then we'll come back to that in a bit. Okay, so we can now see down there that the second tin has stopped smoking. So we're going to go across now and just plug the top of this one again. Very carefully put that in. And put that down there. Now, at this point, the first tin should be nice and cold. So we'll be able to take the top off and have a look at what's in there. So being careful to make sure you pick up the cold tin and not the hot one. And we'll take the lid off. And then I'm just going to tip it out onto here. And as you can see, it's still a little bit warm. It's a nice and even black colour all the way over, nicely charred, and this is ready to use. If when you open your tin you find that it's not properly charred and still got brown bits on there, and the same with the char cloth, you can just put it back onto the fire for a little bit longer and just leave it to cook for a bit more. So what we'll do is we're going to leave that there for the time being, and then we'll come back once it's all cold, probably tomorrow, and then we can have a look at actually how they work when you come to light your fire. Okay, so now these tins are cooled down, we'll open up the second one and show you the char cloth that we've got from inside. So we can see now it's all nice and black. It's gone very, very fragile. Where the stitching is, the stitching has actually started to melt a little bit, which is, but all of this material now will quite happily take a spark and will then be able to use that to ignite your tinder. Another way of creating char material is just to use the bits of charred wood out of the bottom of the fire. So this is a bit left over from the fire that we burnt, and this will take a spark as well and allow you to ignite your tinder as well. So that's how we make charred material. We'll have a look in another video of how we take the charred material to a flame.